Hi there friends, and welcome to my patch rundown for version 1.3 of RIMWORLD. I'm Icon and I'm super excited that this patch is finally here. We're going to talk about the new features that come with version 1.3. It's going to be about animals, combat, and a lot of different things in between. I'll dump the link to the complete changelog in the description down there, so you can check it out if you want to have it black on white. So first off, we're going to talk about animals. There's a massive change to animals. The bottom line, first and foremost, is animal ranching is way more effective than before. Meat yields have been increased by yet another 33%. If we remember, with version 1.2, we already had a meat yield increase when animals are slaughtered. Now we get even more meat when we kill animals, but that bonus gets lost when the animal is when the carcass is damaged. So basically, hunted animals behave the same, but ranched and grown-up animals are now even more juicy. What has changed is that we now can, or must even, keep animals in pens. So we see here, this is a completed pen. We can now build fences, fence gates, and these pen markers, which then declare a zone to a pen. When we do this, we see here that we not only see what size that pen will be, we can also read how many cows, goats, or chicken can be held in this pen. So when we check out the pen information, we see how much nutrition is growing there per day and how much nutrition is consumed there per day. Really valuable and super awesome informations, in my opinion. We can configure via AutoCut how the pen should be kept, so we can now assign that trees and other things should be cut automatically. And as we wait for a moment, our colonists, which are assigned to plant work, will then go inside there and do the job. Really cool stuff, because it makes automating the animal keeping a lot easier. Beyond that, this is not where it ends. We also have here the food information, where we can check out how much of which animal can be held maximum in a pen. So we can also tell the game to forcefully show us how many yak we could hold in here. So we see here yak and cow behave very similarly. The tooltips give us informations about the daily consumptions of babies, juveniles, and adult animals, which is a insanely nice and awesome tool to keep your animals well fed, because these informations were quite cryptic in the previous versions and I dig it a lot. Last but not least, we can here configure whether or not an animal should be kept inside here. We can also define if there should be females or males only in that pen. Really cool if you want to keep the populations low. So when we check out the animal tab over here, there's a couple of other things that we can go for as well. So there's now newly added the auto slaughter functionality, where we can configure how many of each animal should be kept. This is awesome, because basically now we can tell the game, please slaughter all the male chicken except for one to keep the production running. So there's a lot of use for this screen alone, and it really makes automating the ranching of larger animal clusters so much easier. I really love this new functionality for what it can do. It's also worth mentioning that, let's see here, female animals can now be sterilized. I don't know, I guess this can't be done for male animals. Oh yeah, we can also sterilize male animals. This is also a new functionality which allows you to keep the population growth under control. So this is really, really cool, and I do enjoy that a lot. What's also new to the game now are a few things that needed mods in the past. So we can now put a animal flap, which is basically a animal door. And let's see that they built some roof over that. And what we can now build new here is the egg box. The egg box is a space where the animals will automatically lay their eggs into, and haulers will automatically haul it away from there. So no more complicated configurations of storage zones to make that egg storage happen. You only need to take care that you have points where these eggs can be put at the end of the road. So basically you only need to worry about the final destination of the eggs, if that makes any sense. So really new is also, well, it's not really new, but it was, you needed mods back then, that animal beds can now be assigned to owners and can be declared as medical ones. I have been using mods for this functionality since ages, but I really do appreciate it a lot that we now have a vanilla functionality for that as well. Okay, beyond that, what's new as what's new too? What's really new, a piece of news, what really has been a piece of news to me was that raiders now no longer attack passive animals. So that's really cool. So they won't be attacking your baby chicken as the first thing they see when they enter your base. As a downside though, as you see here, a lot of animals now need to be kept in pens. Like the chinchilla can't be even... I can't let him go somewhere else, whereas the guinea pig can't fit into the pens. So you have to take care that the animals that you want to put into pens also can be held in pens. So what's new beyond that? We have also a lot of new informations here when we check out the animals directly. Gestation time and animal growth times have been reduced to amplify the power of the animal keeping in general, but also we see here now a doe how much meat a doe has and how much meat per day grows and how much grass it needs to maintain that. When you look at livestock like chicken, you even get a way higher readout. So okay, a rooster doesn't produce eggs, guys, get real. Whoop. So here's the hen I was looking for. So when we check out the hen, we now not only see the meat and the meat growth and such, we also see how many eggs per year that animal will produce, how much nutrition these produce per year, how much market value these have per year. A lot of really awesome information to check out the real value of your animals. If you go for the megasloth here, for example, we now see how much megasloth wool is being produced per year and how much that's worth. I really dig those informations because they help me personally a ton to see how useful an animal actually is. What's also new is that the animal dirt system has been reworked. Animals like guinea pigs and such have now litter. Litter is basically dirt that can spread on the ground when it's basically like a dirt bomb that can spread even more. What you need to do to avert that is to work with rooms that have straw matting. Straw matting doesn't accept much filth on its own. It's highly flammable to keep things more and more interesting. And well, you need to put your animals in zones fitting to that. So it's the same as we had it before, so there's no real change to systems like these. We can now say that our guinea pigs are supposed to live in here. The guinea pig is now not technically part of the pen, but it's still working out and it's still going to not spread its litter everywhere. With the litter you have now to stay aware even more than before, but at the end of the day, well, if you're used to animal keeping in RimWorld, this is not really anything new to you. Okay, so that's pretty much what it was about the animals. There's a couple of things more, but I think I have scraped off the largest, or I have checked out the largest changes here. Now let's go to combat. With combat, we have two major changes. The first one is the introduction of new enemies, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, towards the end of the video. And the second large change is with mortars. This is an optional change. You can revert it and have mortars just like you had them before, but new mortars, they need a reinforced barrel to be constructed. This reinforced barrel gets destroyed after 20 shots. Upsides for this system are mortars are less inaccurate and shells are less costly. Downsides, barrels can't be produced by your colony themselves, well, without the mod that will surely pop up in less than 2 hours from here. Or you can only get them as quest rewards or from traders. You're not supposed to produce them by yourself. The reward is that the mortars are less inaccurate, which is really good because, you know, inaccuracy of mortars is really a nasty thing, and it's really a thing. So what do I think about this change? I really do like it because this makes mortars more of a special weapon, you know? They add in value to these. The downside is the first few sieges that your colony has to fight off are probably a lot more spicy than before. Is that a bad thing? Not at all. So the other combat-based thing are breach raids. Breach raids are are basically the evil cousin of the sapper raid. So the breach raids come in 3 different flavors. So we have breach raids from tribals. Let's go for here, breaching. So breach raids. Tribal breach raiders spawn with the breach axe. The breach axe is not really a good weapon against human beings. It's actually a little bit worse than war weapons, but what it excels at is destroying structures. So these guys are basically going to be able to break your walls even faster than sappers, because sappers just go for the digging route. These guys are sappers with the right tools, basically. The other faction which comes as a breach raid are the pirates and the outlanders. I'm not going to introduce them at this point because they are behaving the same as before. They just come with grenades now, and that's not really something new. They did that. The sappers did that before. I guess the AI is only a little bit different. But what's really new now is the breach raid of the mechanoids. The mechanoids come with a new unit for this purpose, which is the termite. The termite is a real nasty piece of news. It's coming with a concussion bomb, extremely effective against walls and structures, not too much damage against people, but the real nasty part is that termites can burrow. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you while we're just going to casually god mode away these little raiders here, so please don't mind me, you guys. We're only here to show the breach cannons, the breach axes, and now let's check out the termites, because I wanted to showcase their behavior because it's something different than the stuff we're used to. As we see here, the mechanoids here are instantaneously attacking the walls, and let's watch the termite in action. Alright, we have the first broken walls, but that was to be expected. And now, well, I was expecting them to bury below the ground, but they're actually not doing that. Well, this is right now beta, so, well, technically their purpose is to bury under the ground and re-emerge inside your base. You have to decide if you are going to attack them while they are coming towards your base or not. So sadly the beta let me down on that. Whatever, I think you can get the picture. This is making the mechanoid menace even worse, but the good news there is mechanoids, these guys are not real big damage dealers, their movement speed is rather low. They add up a new element which gives you more of an incentive to attack the mechanoids head on. Do I like that? I hate mechanoids with a passion that I can't describe in words, but, well, at the end of the day, combat can be quite trivial when you play RimWorld too long, so I enjoy new threat generators. So what's new beside that? Another thing that might have already catched your eye while I was playing here is the search bar functionality. Search bars are now everywhere. They go in storage zones. They go in these these areas, they are everywhere. So basically everything which can strike you with too much information has now a search bar attached to it, so you can make it easier to find stuff. I do appreciate that a lot because it was really a pain in the rear. Another thing that has been changed is now that you see the actual wounds and the condition of the body parts better. Just minimal things, but I wanted to point on that because I really had trouble finding that out, and I know a lot of people were using mods for that end. You don't need to do that anymore. Among other things, now the colonists can now carry medicine in their inventory. Most people I know, or me included, were using mods for that, so hooray, we are really good, well off at that end. Another thing which is really cool as well is that, let's give me a sec. Let me remove those little pesky mechanoids for a moment. I want to get rid of that. Wow, they are really quite resilient, gotta say. So another thing that we can't do new now is, yo Pan, you have to, I didn't want to kill him. So, well, sorry, that was not going as I intended, but I can still talk about it. Your colonists can now pick up people and carry them and drop them on purpose. No more hauling towards the bed and risking new catastrophes with that. Really chill stuff. Last but not least, I want to talk about two things I really appreciate a lot too. Caravans now not get slowed down by pawns anymore, which means when there's the infamous food poisoning on the road, your caravan is not going to halt down to a crouch anymore. I'm so happy about that change because it infuriated me whenever that happened. And last but not least, factions now have a better system of determining their goodwill. They now remember what you did to them more effectively. Basically, they have now a memory of events past, and this influences the goodwill. Another thing which is worth mentioning, the goodwill now flows faster towards the natural range. So basically, what this does is that it's going to be harder to make friends with these people, and it's going to be easier to get back to neutral with these people. So basically, it's just underlining the basic hostility or friendliness of a faction more. New to the game now is that we also can add as many factions of a type as we want extra. Like we can now have 3 civil outlander unions. You see that when you start out the game and create a new one. This is a piece of news, and the other piece of news is looking at you right here. You see that? Isaac has a beard. Beards are now a thing. And beards were originally modded content. They are now not anymore. And therefore, cool stuff. People will use less mods for that. And I think there's still going to be lots of beard diversity beyond that. So there's a lot of different things that I didn't catch in this patch run through. I think I have covered up the most massive changes which will impact the game most. Apart from the breach rates, I love everything. I didn't need the breach rates, but whatever, the game can use a little bit more versatility and difficulty. I do love the new animal system. I really love that we have so much more information about the animals that we can keep. And everything is a lot more ordered now, and I really dig that. One big change that I haven't mentioned here so far is that a couple of animals have lost or changed their train abilities have changed. So wild boar, they had intermediate train ability before, and boomalopes have lost that too. So boomalopes are now only chem fuel producers, basically. Okay, friends, so that sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed what I did there. And if you want to see all the details, just check out the link to the Google Drive document that I posted there. And enjoy that if you are like me and you need to know everything. Drop your comments down below if you have any questions, or you felt like I have missed out on something which really needs to be mentioned to everybody. Just go ham, type your opinion there. I'll be really curious to know about that. Of course, leave a thumbs up on that video if you liked it, and if you like that content in general, check out my channel, subscribe, turn on those notifications. I do daily content, so you won't miss anything in the future. Also down there in the descriptions below, you'll find find my Twitch channel where I do daily streams, and ways and means to support this channel directly via Patreon or Ko-fi or whatever deems fit. Be so kind, check them out if you wanna, or don't mind them at all, because I want to thank you one more time for watching this video. This means a ton to me. Have fun, and I hope you guys are going to look forward to the new RIMWORLD version, which is now available. Right now, while I'm recording this as a beta, but it's not going to take long until it's done and available for not beta willing users. Catch you guys next time and have a wonderful time. Bye bye!